Hey guys, it's Uncle Doug. I'm doing a video kind of showing you where the farm is using Google Earth right now. We're zooming down a little bit at a time here. There's Missouri right in the middle of the country and Kansas. We're zooming down onto the address for the farm and give you some more information about it. I am never tried this before, trying to integrate voiceovers with Google Earth and some other stuff here, but I want to show you how beautiful this piece of land is. Here we're zooming in. You see the lake on the north, on the west there, and we're going to straighten this out a little bit, pull it down. Okay, now what I want to show you, our piece of land, I straighten it up so it's due north. There's the lake to the northwest, and we're going to get that out of the way in just a second. Now our property line runs right across the bottom here on the south side. That's 144th Street if it went all the way through to right there. It cuts north a little bit, and then we go up at an angle to the east to hit that road right there, and a little road along the baseball field. That's all County Park right there to the north of us, and then down Old Quarry Road. So altogether, we have this chunk in the front that's an actual square, is a 40-acre square, a quarter of a quarter, they call it in map terms. And then we have this sort of triangle in the back that used to be another 40 acres. Here we are still rolling along here. The back one, they took a little chunk out back in the 1950s, eminent domained it to make the lake. Altogether, we're 67.72 acres. Let me get this working here. We'll straighten this out for you. This is the main driveway coming into the cave. This is a lower parking lot and grassy area. Right now we're pasturing all the animals out along here. This is parking lot, upper parking lot here. And let me zoom in a little bit. There right in front of you, see a dome out from the old cave a little bit. A couple little footprints look like where it's, we call it the footprints of Jesus. Old collapse there. Now, right in here, the cave face does a fish hook around, and we're talking about this being a pond. There's just a couple little spots that need to be filled in, and this would be a really beautiful pond that probably would be, I don't know, 12, 15 feet deep. You can see a crease right down the middle of the land going north and south, where this triangle here that I'm showing you is where the village was going to be. We'd talked about the village being, but this crease runs right through the middle, and it's a natural downhill slope to this waterfall right there in the pond that is about a 20-foot waterfall when it rains, and fills the pond up real fast. So they had cut a notch in it so it would drain across the road, and if we fill that up again, we think it'll be a really beautiful pond. Here's the front of the cave. Right here's a little house that is the main entrance to the offices and the built-in parts there. A little parking lot with 3 handicap spaces. This is the entrance to the tunnel to the old haunted house that we don't use anymore. It's all blocked off. And here's a drainage pipe where we're pulling water out of the cave. We've since moved that to the tunnel for the haunted house. What we'd like to do is have the water coming through this dome out and coming down this cave, face into a koi pond. Just a little pond, little water feature where it would come down the wall face into a pond and then drain out of there. We're draining lots of water out of the cave right now, something like 100,000 gallons a day. I'm going to switch to a map now. This is a photoshopped satellite map from early on in the process, when we were proposing the original drawings for the village and stuff. So you see the outer perimeter kind of following that one square and kind of a triangle shape that I showed you before. It's harder to see the cursor on this one, but here in a minute there we are over at the lake, and you can see the blue right there along the cave face. And there's just a little spot right there and right there that we have to fill in, and 10 or 12 feet high, and then this would pond up pretty nice, I think, and we could stock it with native fish. The brown lines are trails. The thick brown lines are roads up in the village. But this area right in here is all pasture where we have the animals right now, and these are some trails going up the hill from the creek where people could walk and pray and whatever. This is lower parking lot all along in here. This pink thing is kind of sanctuary space that we've looked at in a part of the old haunted house where we could have 50 or 100 people in church or movie night or whatever, conferences and stuff. We are still trying to figure out a way to connect the lower surface of the parking lot to the upper level because it's about a 25-foot drop right there on the cave face. And you either have to go around or we're going to have to build a staircase or something that would get up this trail and go over here to the village. Potentially we could do a staircase inside one of the dome outs, but we've got to have engineers and everything to make sure it's safe to do that. Here in the lower parking lot, then it comes down, there's a trail that goes around the bottom and gets you up into the grassy area. It's a very beautiful, there's a little box canyon right here, and the trail drops off really dramatically, like 20, 30 feet as you go up to the grassy area. I tried to drive it in the truck and had a wheel off the trail and hanging out over. We had to pull it out with a bobcat real carefully, but it's more like a walking trail, really. It's probably not something we could enlarge for vehicle traffic. But it would be a really pretty walking trail through the woods up to the grassy area. Now, what you see up here in the grassy area, the big green square is this is all. The lighter green area has been cut recently. This green square is where we'd like to have crops. It's about a football field in size. The blue is a greenhouse, but it would probably go east and west instead of north and south to catch the sun better. We just kind of sketched in like that. Although somebody stole a lot of the parts of our greenhouse, so we're going to have to figure out some other way to use all the component pieces that we have. A lot of aluminum just went missing out of the front of our place. Now the red is just a barn. It could be a shipping container or an old mobile home or a semi or something just for storage and stuff up there in the work area. But that area there too could work as a lagoon. It's nice and flat if we needed waste treatment or something else for the village. There's lots of possibilities there. And all of that light green area is right above the cave. You can kind of see the map underneath. But that 40-acre area up front is all the commercial section where we have a lot more choices as far as what we do there. The back half of the property almost is zoned agricultural. This easement here is a natural gas easement coming down, and the other one is an electrical easement. Would like to, right in here is the electrical box that goes into the cave. And so we would have the possibility of building a single-family home up in here somewhere in the corner of the property, maybe that would have a lake view. At least in the winter it might, probably not in the summer. We just have to worry about setbacks from the property line and setbacks from the easement and make sure that it would actually fit. But it's a possibility. There's a flat spot right up there right before it starts going down the hill that would be a possibility. And we could build a large single-family home as well as like a grandmother's quarters, smaller home on the ag section of the land. And it did have to come down this road along the ball field, but it's real steep right there. So we'd probably have to come down and around the trail and up to the house that would be more level than that little gully right there. This area in here has been mowed fairly recently, clear cut, this middle section of the property, and just has scrubby stuff, where the back section is mostly 20, 30-foot trees and bigger, and was clear cut a while ago. The only real true old growth is this section in the southeast corner, in the lower right-hand corner, that's up a hill above the stream, and would be hard to get. But this area in the middle, there's actually a really nice little amphitheater right in here where near the electrical box, where you could clear cut everything and have grass and have a stage kind of down at the bottom, pull electric off the box and have concerts or something, and but they'd have to park in the lower parking lot and walk around, which you know, it's still a quarter of a mile or something, so it might not be good for everybody. Got to take into consideration wheelchairs and everything else, but there, if we could have a vehicle running them around the road by the ballpark to the back if they needed a ride, potentially. So all kinds of possibilities. We're just got to work with the different departments and process through what we have to do to make sure we have the right waste treatment and all of the other issues that we've got to deal with right now. Anyway, I think that's about it for this one. I want to move on to a driving tour and show you some of the land. More in a minute. Hey guys, it's Doug. I am up on the land. I'm going to do a little tour for you. It's on the back of the property. This is the road coming along the baseball field, and on the north side of the property I'm headed due west, and this road runs along the side of the property here. We got a lot of blackberries along here, looking forward to those being ripe. Now right here is the end of the tree line, the big tree line, and we have sort of more open area. This is a road that cuts through directly to the garden, and this is, we're going to come on down a little bit. This is a road, this is the old road that we had cutting through. Basically we're thinking about putting a greenhouse right up there in between kind of those two roads, one on either end of the greenhouse where you can get in. But we got to clear some land, and we got to keep a 50-foot buffer or more away from the property line. Coming down the hill, this has got mowed recently, but it rained a couple days ago and everything popped up real fast. Now here's a corner of our property. I'll show you on the Google map. Oh, about out of gas. And then we got a road going up that way. This is the end of the first 40 acres. You can see the electric line going in there. That's for the back of the cave. That powers all the cave. This is kind of a corner of the property where we should go straight, but the county took a chunk of it back in the 50s to make this lake. So this isn't really mowed very well here, so I'm in a minivan. But if you look up that way, you can see where the power lines run, and there's a mowed area in between the power lines. Our easement runs that way. Now that from this corner we're going southwest at about a 45-degree angle, and the Rocky Hollow Lake is just right on the other side of that that little bluff right there. There's a hill, and then the lake is right over there. And this shallow spot here and the creek to my right runs down into the lake. So let me back up, because that's not really navigable in the minivan anyway right now. I'll have to do a hayride with the tractor one day up and down those hills or something. But anyway, over here's our property line, fence line there. I'm going to come up this way. It's all very green, growing really well. Stuff, lots of black-eyed Susans and other flowers popping up all over. These two electric lines, over there, the second one over there is the box going into the back of the cave. It's the main three-phase power. There's a gully over there I can't get past in a vehicle other than the tractor, so we don't have a trail running that way. But we've had to basically, this area, if you look on the old Google Maps, this area was clear cut like 10 years ago. So this is all fairly young growth that's not too hard to knock it down with the brush hog. Some of it requires a chainsaw. These, I don't know if you can see those, that's a honey locust. We got lots of these, and they got great big thorns on them and are real scary. I don't know if you can see all those thorns, but they are a major puncture problem for tires and stuff out here. Here's some more of them. That one's too big to knock down. That's a chainsaw there, but that little one you could probably knock down with the brush hog. Let me zoom back out. All right, so this whole area, we're going to try and clear as much of this as we can. We have some very nice rolling hills that accommodate themselves to permaculture and using water, swales, terrace gardens, and things like that. Over here, we've got a bunch of trees Matthew's been cutting out with the chainsaw. Those are the fans from the old greenhouse we took apart. And on the other side is the garden that we planted that is kind of haphazard and last minute and stuff. I'm not going to run you over there. I want you to... we're going to have some trails running around the property that people can walk or run or maybe bike, I don't know, four-wheel, I don't, whatever. Now, over there, that's the tree line. We were down here in the corner, and that's the end of the 40-acre square up front, the zone commercial. Everything from the tree line back is zoned agricultural. And but you can see this area is just kind of a high pampas grass kind of stuff, native grasses, native trees. The honey locusts grow the fastest. This is one of them here, but we're going to try and eliminate as many of them as we can. And oh, look at that UFO right there. Look at that. Oh, except it's not, it's just a bug. Bug on the windshield. Anyway, right now we're only using, isn't that pretty? There's just so much land, places we haven't even explored yet. We've walked the property line. It's fenced all the way around, but there's just so much to do. Let's go this way. There's some really pretty little trails through the woods like this here that we've cut, just little lanes in the woods. Even in the winter there's lots of little black-eyed Susans. And this little trail here that runs through the woods is really sweet, except we got a mud hole here that I don't think I can get past in the... I tried to repair it some today with the tractor, but it's got to dry out. It rained a couple days ago, and the tractor cuts pretty good divots in it. We got to get some gravel back here, but this trail is just real sweet. A little walking trail that would lead you from the barn to the greenhouse and the garden along the... It splits off of the road. Uh-oh. Cindy's calling. I'm going to reject that. Oh, and keep recording. Okay. Now I'm going to come out. This is the first road that I bypassed. We just cut this road, so it'd be a straight shot and easier to get to the garden instead of the little windy road over there. But we've got to come in. The brush hog just beats the tar out of these little trees and stuff. But you could still puncture a tire with one of these trees if they're sharp and they're not flayed on the end. Oh, that was my window. Anyway, so we're coming back down the road the way we came in, and here's the big trees are over here. This is old growth, or older growth anyway, and And this is where the village was going to be. From that corner where we just turned, it was going to run at an angle toward the entrance, which is over there. It would have been about a 6-acre area where the village would be located, which is a lot of space. I mean, a lot of space for 27 little tiny houses, even with roads and parking and everything. There's a lot of room in there. Now, here's where that little road comes out. I'll turn it here. You can kind of see it goes in there. It's just a real pretty covered little walkway or a trail for cars or whatever. Shortcut through the woods. We'll probably have lots of them before this is over, because so much of this is heavily wooded. Even in the winter, there's going to be a lot of cover. But a lot of it is this little scrubby brush that's pretty easy to knock down and cut trails. Now here was one potential entrance to the village. We had kind of mowed a trail through there. Matthew mowed it recently. There's a barn right here. It's kind of fallen down, but we're going to repair and potentially use for cattle or goats or something like that. But it's just a little barn, needs a little repair on the roof, and needs the goats to come and do their thing and eat all the guts out. But it's also got a pretty good fenced area, lots of poison ivy. The goats seem to like the poison ivy. Anyway, so I'm coming back up. There's the ballparks right over there. Coming back up the road here. Eventually we'll gravel this or something, but it's fairly difficult. If it rains hard, we really need one of the pickups to get in and out of here. And we're gonna put some security cameras here to track people coming and going, because we've had vandalism issues in the past. Okay, here we go. Now I'm pulling out on the street. Now, without the village, really the only way to get to the back of the land is from that little road, access road. If the village were there, then there'd be a road through the middle of the property. But it's still a difficult thing to get from the cave face up on top until we put in some stairs or figure out a ramp or something. Now there's our pile of tree stuff. Tree trimmers just drop off for us. And then right here, this trail would have been the entrance to the village. So you'd pull into our main entrance, probably on the other side of this lamp pole, and then we'd drive up into the village there. There's another entrance right over here where there's a little parking lot area, and that overlooks down into what we want to have the pond where the geese were. Now the goats are in there eating everything down, but there'd be 8 or 10 parking spots there overlooking the pond. Now coming into the main entrance. Today I just dug a new garden area down here. Right through here, if you can see, there's walls on either side that are pretty tall, that are rock, but they've cut a hole right through here to the area that we want to put a pond. And if we fill that in and put a drain pipe, it'll be 10 or 15 feet deep and be able to handle native fishes, and it'll be great. The goats are doing a great job. Okay, here's an area where the goats haven't been. Okay, there's an area where the goats have been. Haven't been, have been. You see the difference? Man, they're just clean. They're great little weed eaters. Anyway, I just dug this little garden plot today. I covered it in mulch. It's about 15 by 45, but it gets good sun all up until this time of day. The sun starts to set over the cliff face, but I could probably triple it and it get good sun despite these big trees down here. Here's the roosters. Let's see if they're the geodesic dome did not take well to being drug around. Now, I'll give you that I didn't put it together at the top the right way. I enlarged the hole for potential fireplace or something, so it wasn't as stable as it should have been, but we're gonna have to go through and put a bunch of pieces back together. We haven't been moving it in a while, so that spot under it is fairly chickened up because things are popping out of their joints. It has sawed the zip ties apart a little bit by moving it and dragging it. And we could use metal zip ties or higher duty zip ties. You can see they got a couple of roosts in there they can hang out. But we're going to take the tarp off, and then I'm going to put the top piece together the way it's supposed to be and reinforce everything, and hopefully that'll help. Now back behind it's the electro net with the little baby goats, and back behind that's the pond, which is filling up slowly. But I have to reinforce the berms around it some as it rains and they settle a little bit. Now coming up on here, here's the goose. There's the goose. There's some goats. We found out that she likes grapes today, and will chase you down and steal them out of your pocket. So anyway, more greenhouse pieces over here. There's the main entrance to the office. That's about it for now. We'll talk to you more later. God bless you. Bye.